Alright, let's continue. Instead of taking this... that's still... I feel like I'm still noticing the occasional thing with frame rate. Hopefully that won't be too much of a problem. I could have just taken the spider ball back up there, but I think this is a little faster, maybe. You know what, that's fine. I'll just ignore that enemy and move on. Can't do anything with that door, so... we'll get that later. Oh, that health bar is kind of in the way, huh? I think instances of that are going to be very rare, but you will see, I guess, occasionally how the game was not designed for this. That's what the UI was on the bottom screen at all times, and the game is designed around that. What I'm doing is not proper exactly, but I just think it's much better presentation-wise overall, even if we'll have a few hiccups like that. Okay, so that just... well... is there nothing up here? Yeah, I'm thinking of a different area, I guess, where, yeah, I'm just gonna go this way for now. Jerk. It does suck when multiple enemies come at you at once with, like, different timings. I don't think there's anything else up here, but, take a quick look. That counterattack, like, half counted. It counted in the way that mattered, at least. I feel like I'm still missing something up in that area. Let me go... let me go investigate this a little bit. No, but there wasn't anything up there. I must be thinking of a different area. Maybe I should go through here. Yep, okay. Okay, yeah, there's a lot of unexplored area down there. I am actually playing this through the OBS preview window because that way I can, that way I kind of get the same experience you're getting with the UI I have and everything. So I'm aware of, that way I'm more aware of how it looks and can be more on the ball with changing things if they need to be changed. Like getting rid of the UI when the game fades it out. I'll be more aware of it if it's right in my face. I can get that now, yeah. I see that missile tank on the map there. So see, this is exactly what I mean. We can get out of there with bombs. We just couldn't get in with bombs. On this side, anyway. Man, those are some sturdy fans. You jerk. I love these, like, cutscenes you get when you, counter boss-type enemies. I noticed I got hit by that in the cutscene, but it looked like I didn't actually take damage from it. This game does have some good design safeguards too. Like, if you are down in the Hurdy plants during the, like, boss defeated cutscene, it'll drop you back onto, like, one of the platforms when you before you regain control. I can really see how, with some experience with this game now, I can really see how, like, even with double the damage, you definitely have room for error. Taking twice as much damage as this is where it starts to feel like you have to play... I mean, there's still room for error at that point, but not a lot. Maybe not a lot of room. I apologize. I'm sorry about, like, any frame rate weirdness. I guess there's not much I can do about it. I think I'd be able to avoid that if I recorded this, like, the normal way, but I still think that this just looks so much better that it's worth the occasional stutter or whatnot. Some of you might not even notice as much as I am anyway. When you start, like, trying to make videos and pay attention to getting them to look as nice as possible and that sort of thing for, like, a while, you start to see flaws a lot more easily that you wouldn't have noticed otherwise. I saw that Metroid in the background there. Oh yeah, I have to get up there. I needed a new one. I mean, I could have just waited for that one to unfreeze, but... Oh, that wasn't a charge shot? And up we go. Okay. Notably, this is something different with this remake. I guess kind of like lore-wise. Because in the original Game Boy game, you just could not hurt the evolved Metroids with your beam at all. Even the Ice Beam, they were immune. So that's one of the things with the fan remake, AM2R, is that they could only really go off of what existed before this remake, because that's all that existed at the time. So there's like some data log. Well, first of all, just the design of the game in general, like the Metroids being immune or not. Oh, there we go. I was wondering what I was missing. Yeah, in AM2R, the Metroids are immune to the Ice Beam, and just like they are in the Game Boy game. And there's like... AM2R has data logs, kind of like... to a limited extent, it has some, kind of like the Metroid Prime games on some enemies and things like that. And the thing is, being a fan project, they had to just go off of what they had to work with and make guesses and assumptions. And the logs are cool, but since it is fan-made and it's going off of outdated information, there ends up being things that are incorrect. And the Metroid, like, the reason for the Metroids being immune to the Ice Beam is a really good example of that, because they are not immune to the Ice Beam. But that's all that, that's the only information that could be gone off of during the development of that fan remake, because at the time, the only version of these Metroids that you really had was in the Game Boy original, and in that one, they were immune to the Ice Beam. I suppose there's also, like, the appearance of the one Metroid in Metroid Fusion, but that's, like... That plays by different rules in general, anyway. And that one's, like, an odd one out, too, because it's immune to missiles, which is, like, the thing that they're... Specifically, the only thing they're damaged by in the Game Boy game. Metroid is cool for having a lot of, like, story and lore compared to something like, say, Mario. Like, even though it had its start on the NES where the plot wasn't too much of a focus, there were still some, like, even if they didn't do a lot with the story, what story was there was interesting, more so than some games. And, story started to become more of a focus a little bit as the series went on, and I think that's really cool. The one thing you'll find with it is that it is still, I think, in some regards, a gameplay over story kind of series. And they're not afraid to kind of change the way things are presented story-wise with later games. Like, yeah, they're not afraid to change their mind on, like, what's canon and what isn't. And there's even things like, you know, you've got, one of the clear breaks between, like, the clear breaks from story and gameplay is, like, you kind of have to just ignore the fact that every time you defeat Ridley in the game, you just see him completely freaking explode. And, but based on the story, you would have to assume that when Samus defeats Ridley in the original game, that he's just badly injured, because he still shows up in Super Metroid. Can't do anything with that. And then, of course, there's, like, Metroid Prime, which went the interesting route of, like, giving him these, like, cybernetic upgrades. Like, he was all, like, beat up from his appearance in the original Metroid, so he had, like, glowing hollow wings and stuff. I thought that was kind of neat. But yeah, they feel pretty free to, like, change their minds sometimes on what's canon and not, to some extent, I feel. And, like, a really big example of that, I'd say, would be the manga, because, like, at least that's something that's not in the games, to be fair. But, I mean, it's like, at the time that the manga came out, it served as, like, a prequel to Zero Mission, which was a remake of the original game, so it really was kind of like, felt like this whole, this is the new canon type of thing they were doing there. And I know some of the game developers were even saying that, like, the manga was really good and it was serving as kind of like Samus's official background origin story. But despite them saying that, there's things with that manga that don't track, especially now more than ever. It's kind of relegated to not being canon with all the games, which is a shame because the manga is actually really good in my opinion. I really like its characterization of Samus. I really like its characterization of Adam Malkovich. But it's not really canon, I guess. I wonder how canon Other M is considered, because that tried to do a lot with Samus' characterization, but, so I'd have to say that it really feels like a story that you can just kind of ignore the existence of, and you're not really missing anything lore-wise. And I feel like that might be intentional, but I don't know. That's something I could talk more about that at a later time, maybe. How did I... Oh, I know how I did it. So I'm supposed to go up here and, like, spider ball around, but you can also just kind of do that. I feel like that's probably a thing that they would do in speedruns, among many other things. I'm certainly no speedrunner, but, and there's a lot of, like, when it comes to that sort of thing, they always employ lots of, like, cool tricks that I just cannot, either cannot learn because I don't have the skill, or just generally cannot be bothered because it takes so much practice, and I just don't enjoy that sort of thing. But I think it's really cool what they can pull off. It's just kind of not for me. Also, all these, like, yellow, slimy parts of the wall and ceiling and stuff, those are parts that you just fall off of if you're trying to use the spider ball. So that's why, that's how they prevent you from just getting around too easily with it. Yeah, I thought there was something in here. That looks like just a quick way back. So we'll keep going up. I don't need the ice beam. This one looks a little different. Oh, it's charging. You cannot melee counter them when they have the glowing energy like that. You'll notice that they're not making, like, the distinctive noise, that noise there. You'll notice that noise was not present when it charged me with the, glowing energy. So that's interesting. Those are still technically the same evolution. They're still technically just alpha Metroids. But it's looking a little weird, and it seemed a little bit stronger. It had some abilities that that the other alphas didn't. So you might say that that one might be, like, closer to evolving to another evolutionary stage. I think we're about to get another very useful ability. What was that timing? On my part, not on the game's part. Oh, can't open that door. Yes, okay. Just spider ball to avoid the hurdy plants. They probably have an official name. I don't know what it is. That's a way out, but I don't want to take the way out yet. Because in here, we can get some health, but also a new Aeon ability. This is a very good one. One that I would say I didn't even utilize to its full potential in my original playthrough. Lightning armor creates a protective electric barrier. Aeon is consumed anytime it prevents physical damage. Also strengthens melee counters. Press press left on the control pad to equip. Press A while equipped to activate. A again to deactivate. So I don't think it consumes any Aeon. On the bottom screen here, that's where you would see which one is equipped. I don't think it consumes any Aeon just to have it active, which is nice. So you could just technically leave it on all the time if you want. I don't tend to. It's really good for these swarms of enemies like this, until you get some, like, beam upgrades or whatever. But it's also really useful for some other things with traversal, like standing in these plants and not getting hurt. And the only trade-off is instead just a little bit of Aeon energy. Oh, that's a fall block, okay. That is a one-way door, so I could not get to that elevator previously. Good thing I came this way first. When I say that I did not use this to its full potential throughout my playthrough, what I mean by that is what I think is a really good use for it that I didn't really do until the very final fight of the game is that you can just pop it on during boss fights, and because some bosses in this game hit like a truck, and with the lightning armor you can afford some extra hits because you'll take those hits to your Aeon gauge first and your HP later. This thing sucks. Let me demonstrate what it does. It burns! You have to get into the water to get rid of it. Otherwise it stays on you until you die. One thing I didn't figure out right away is that you can tank it with the lightning armor. And I'm gonna need to know that later. Because there's one that you cannot really get by, probably without the lightning armor, especially in hard mode. I think in normal mode you could, or maybe I don't know, I might have just came back to that one later, I don't really remember. Is that all that was over there? Was the way out not over here? Yeah, it was. Okay, hold on. Wait, no, this is where I just came from, isn't it? Yeah, okay. I think there was another way out over here. Well, I mean, there's this. Oh yeah, I just opened the door, so... My memory is startlingly bad sometimes, especially when I'm trying to focus on multiple things at once, like playing and commentating. But that's an excuse. It can be bad sometimes anyway. That's just fast travel. I am missing something obvious. Yeah. No? Oh, okay, yeah, I need to go back there. Okay. Don't mind me just wandering around aimlessly sometimes. You'd think I would know this game well enough after 3 playthroughs, but no. Yeah, there we go. Up we go. Yeah, this game does this sometimes, where you've got elevators that don't actually go to a whole new area, they just go to another section of the same area. Like, look at the short distance of that. Why is there even an elevator? Why not just build stairs? The real answer, I think, is loading. But, you know. Loading transitions. I really like this area. I think this is the area, yeah, it is. Wait. Yeah, this is the area that, it's interesting to see when, like, I didn't really have much, and this is another reason you can't always just go wherever you want. I didn't mean to save again. I didn't really have much of a interpretation of what this area was when I played the Game Boy version, I think. Maybe I'm just dumb, but So it's interesting to me to see when this remake and the fan remake had similar ideas about what an area was. Because AM2R and Samus Returns both did their own things, and I don't... I know AM2R did not take notes from Samus Returns, because that's not possible. But I don't think Samus Returns took notes from AM2R either. I mean, I could be wrong, but I don't think it did. So it's interesting to see when they had some ideas that do line up, like them both making them be these, like, water, like, centralized water plant type of things. That is, because that is something that both remakes do. I find that kind of fascinating. Maybe there is, like, just enough of that portrayed in the Game Boy version to come to that conclusion. I don't know. I just didn't really think of it when I was playing through the original game, to be honest. I have this feeling this is not the way I want to go first. I think, yeah, because if I come up here, I can get that missile tank. These walls cannot be destroyed, these crystals, and that's like, that's kind of a thing for the end of the game. But, and there are like a few of those that I cannot circumvent, but it is cool that there are actually quite a lot of those that there are ways to circumvent. Like, in this instance, going around, in some instances, it's finding a hidden block that can be blown up with, like, a super missile or a power bomb or, you know, whatever. I didn't even really think about it. I guess one interesting thing to look at is, like, with this game, you might... I have only just now realized as I sit here, like, dropping certain power-up names. You might not know what power-ups are going to be in this game when you think about it in comparison to the Game Boy original. It's like, do they just stick... I mean, obviously they're not sticking totally faithful to begin with, because they're adding totally new things. But you might wonder which things make the cut and which don't. Do they add in everything, or do they not? And I will say that AM2R and Samus Returns take different approaches on what abilities they put in. I would again say AM2R very much, like, it has a lot in common with Zero Mission, I would say, but Samus Returns does hold off on some things. It doesn't put in everything you might expect it to, as a modern remake. This might be a good area to freeze. If they've got the frozen bottom, they cannot do the energy charging attack, as far as I can tell. Fighting Metroids in a water area sucks, because you cannot jump as high. You know what, I'll just get my health back here instead. It won't take very long. And I was gonna say for a moment that I was gonna not bother going up here, because I think there's just spikes up here too. But I think, actually, I can go up here, if I remember right. In fact, I kinda need to? Dang. I don't know if I even got... Oh, I got it. I think this is one of my... It's not... I wouldn't say this is really, like, my favorite... too much of my favorite area design-wise, but it's up there. It's one of my... I definitely like this... I don't know, I'll say, like, top 5, I guess, offhand. I do really like the whole, like, water dam thing kind of going on here. That's not a power-up. That's a mini-boss. Man, this thing was a pain in the neck to fight in the Game Boy game. Ow. Oh. Alright, there's the first death. Not really where I expected to get it. This is the part where I have to actually, like, start trying a little harder, considering the first point where the difficulty is really coming in more, like, making itself more apparent. Yeah, man, I definitely think I would struggle with fusion mode. Maybe this isn't the best way to avoid this. I was thinking standing in place and jumping would be better. Oh, he has a shockwave. Okay, yeah, this, wow, I wasn't expecting this boss to give me any trouble. I guess that's what happens sometimes with hard modes, is you find challenge in unexpected places. Especially when you're bad. Yeah, I think I'd rather just jump over him. Instead of, yeah, that's gonna work better for me. Eat! Oh, I didn't expect him to come out of it. Did not do as well on that as I would have liked, but hey, I won after 3 tries. I'm more worried about, like, later bosses, but I guess I may find some unexpected challenges along the way. So, Spring Ball. Don't mind me just taking a drink of water while I bounce. A funny thing happened on a replay I did of this, where I forgot about the Spring Ball being here somehow, and like missed it somehow. And I had done everything else in the area except for like fight one Metroid, and I couldn't I just went back in the same room I just left. I couldn't figure out how to get to that Metroid. It seemed like impossible, and then finally it dawned on me that, well, actually I think it was something a friend said while I was watching. It's like, oh yeah, I suddenly, it dawned on me, it's like, oh yeah, the Spring Ball exists and I don't have it, and that was in this area, wasn't it? I don't think I'm gonna have any memory lapses quite that bad in this playthrough, I hope. It'll be fine, I'm sure. Oh, did I? I don't think I wanted to come down here. Whatever, that's fine. It will not take long to get back. Forgot about how to use the spider ball here. Nope. That's good enough. Oh, I didn't even come over here yet. Oh, that's right. I went right up there because I wanted to get the spring ball. Oh, decisions, decisions. I'll go up here first, I guess, because I'm curious. I like how I didn't pay a lot of attention to that originally. I kind of like how it seems like I don't think you always get that sound when you do the scan pulse, but like it seems like often you hear like a roar from some enemy or something that sends the scan pulse, I suppose. That's kind of neat. I don't know if it's just random or if it happens all the time and I didn't realize. Or... No, it definitely doesn't happen all the time. I was wondering if it's specifically when the scan pulse happens to overlap with a Metroid. Oh, I missed the timing? Oh boy. And now he's going up there. I missed. Clutch victory. Man, that one could have gone better. Well, not going to be able to open that for a while, so let's just get on out of here. Oh, wait. Wrong way. I'd better go refill my health. I wonder why they chose to have stuff like this in here too, and not just like the energy recharge stations, because they have those in here, but they also made a deliberate choice to like not put one anywhere around here and put this here instead. I guess just like to have that kind of, to maintain a little bit of that old schoolness. That's my only real guess there. Because I mean, I feel the best thing to do design-wise, if you feel something like that is necessary there, would be to just put an actual, like, pair of recharge stations. Unless it really is just that you want to make that, like, throwback reference to the older games that didn't really have the recharge stations, so your only method for getting back health and missiles was to farm enemies. Actually, that's really only the first game, though. Though, like, Super Metroid... I feel like Metroid, the original Metroid 2, made, I don't really feel like grinding resources off of enemies was really practical at any given point. That sphere is an Aeon recharge station, by the way. I don't feel like it was really practical to grind resources from anything, from anywhere in Metroid 2. You could do it in a pinch if you had to in some spots, but there was nowhere that really, like, facilitated it particularly. I think up here we need super missiles. Yeah. Metroid 1 definitely had spots for grinding enemies, but I don't think Metroid 2 did. Super Metroid did. Super Metroid and Metroid 2 both had recharge stations, but they were sometimes made scarce enough that you would sometimes end up needing to, like, get stuff back by just grinding enemies instead. You know what, I should just do this faster. Oh boy, bomb bugs. These things give me flashbacks to Metroid Prime. They hurt quite a bit if you let them run into you, so, don't. Ow. I say, and then immediately, do not take my own advice. Well, there's an energy recharge right here, so that's handy. I like that there's just that big, kind of scary-looking dude chilling in the background there, and that's just it. He's just there in the background. He's not here to attack us or anything. Just some non-threatening just some wildlife on the planet. I think that's a neat touch. That's one thing Metroid I think is really good at, is just doing cool things with the environment, and sometimes even environmental storytelling. But I do like when Metroid tries to do actual direct storytelling sometimes. I think it's almost a shame that it seems to have backed off from that a bit, but I can speak more on that later. Probably something I would save for, like, my final thoughts with, yeah, we'll see. It didn't even go into the cutscene because he only needed one more missile. So yeah, that was actually the last Metroid I defeated on my second playthrough. I played through this game once for myself, second to show it to a couple of friends, third to unlock hard mode again through this method of playing the game so that I could actually do hard mode videos with this instead of with the capture card. And now I'm playing hard mode. Put that back on again. Oh. Yeah, having his bottom frozen definitely prevents the energy charge. So that's extremely useful. Well, I've missed something somewhere. I'll have to take another look around. I might have to use the teleporter and go back to an earlier section of this area or something. Or maybe it's just over here. Oh, no, this is just, oh, this is actually something I'm supposed to come back to later, but, let's see if I can... I need to remember the rhythm for this. There we go. You're more so supposed to come back here later with an upgrade I don't have yet, but you can just bomb jump up there too. That's also valid. And that's, I believe, an intended sequence break, because if the devs really didn't want you to be able to do that, they would have either just not allowed the bomb jump to work like that. I know one of the Metroid games did that. I think it might have been Fusion, that you just kind of couldn't really do the bomb jump to that great of an extent. I might be remembering that wrong. Otherwise, though, I mean, they could have just put, like, they could have just put a fan right there on the floor if they wanted to prevent me from doing that. So I am pretty certain that's an intended sequence break. Oh, I didn't take the elevator yet. Okay. Yeah, that's rather obvious then, where I'm supposed to go next. I don't know why I came here first. Down we go. Oh, whoops, this video is 47 minutes long. You know what? I'm gonna call it here in that case, and next time, we'll pick up in this area.